I can't win for losing. Focus. Focus. What's up, World Wide Web E-Daddy? Your should not be allowed to be nearly as angry as what he should be because he might have a freaking heart attack. Daddy. So, and this isn't going to help. Yeah, well, whenever I start typing that message, Kevin, you weren't here. There's my email telling me, oh, yeah, you're on, you're live, you're blah, 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 blah. Anyways, so we'll continue on. Most of us still in quarantine, isolation, whatever the hell you want to call it. And probably most of those kids are probably about ready to have our kids cause us all to have heart attacks. My kids are going to eventually watch this and they're going to be really pissed I said that. Oh, well, it's the way it is. That's just the way it is, brother. Oh, wait a minute, wrong tagline. Snapping to a Slim Jim? Oh, you can't have those. I took that Macho Man at Arms and updated his outfit with the NWO colors a little bit. Anyways, so another week, no news at all. And it is what it is. Thank you. But, keep on, rumors of newer shit coming out. Toy line wise, I seen where some Walmarts are starting to get the retro new Ghostbusters figures in stock. My Walmart sucks dick because they ain't showing up there. I know, I've been looking. They restocked on plenty of the Masters WWE Universe figures. Surprise, surprise there. So yeah, with all that, I guess we can somewhat shorten down my intro time because there ain't nothing to talk about. We know there's no movie coming up. Oh shit, did I reveal a spoiler? And I still ain't seen this fucking imaginary trailer for fucking Master Universe Revelations. Still pissed Ghostbusters getting held back to like next year or some shit. Well, I just seen myself like freeze out and like, That wasn't a lag. That was just me doing flash mode. Like, all right, so let's get to why any of us are here. And we'll take a look at let's take a look at who won, who's moving on to the infamous third round for brackets 1 and 2. Everybody wants to know. Kevin's sitting there probably ready to cry or celebrate, depending on his picks. Good thing I keep people around to help me vote on this. So, first bracket, Modulot getting the win over Serratus. The Blue Murgard took the win over the 2000X Snakeman Too Bad. The 2000X Snakeman Roboto got the win over Gwildor. And the 2000X Manny Face has got the win over Filmation Beastman. So I'm still waiting to see if Kevin's crying about Filmation Beastman getting the boot. Second bracket, the Blue Classics Hordak got the win over King Grayskull. Rotostater continues his domination, getting the win over Buzzoff. The 2000X Evil Lyn over Mini Comic Stratos. And Adamon getting the win over the Eternity Disguised He-Man. Okay, you're good? All right. So that's brackets 1 and 2. A few weeks, we'll get around to back to that as we go into the third round. It's nice now because we're down like 4 pick. We're getting where we get this round out of the way, we'll be down like 4 figures per bracket. Man, this shit's good. Run around doing so much shit, I didn't have a chance to eat dessert. I know why Kevin's here. Actually, he's waiting to hear something. I know it. He's waiting for that infamous sound. Oh, I hate that thing. And that's all you're going to get that one, Kevin. For now. It's all right, we're going to be taking a good look at the old king here later on. I know. All right. So let's move on. Let's get on to, let's unveil this third bracket. The Elite 8 of the third bracket. So we knock it down to the final 4 of the third bracket. Okay. Pulling a surprise win is the 15 seed. Start this out here in the third bracket here. We have returning on, we're talking about old Zodak Zur. I called the first of the protectors of the universe, whatever. A long line of Zodaks here. You know, this is what happens when you got little kids out coming in here and moving your stuff around. But anyway, so Zodak Zur, he got a pretty good kickback or reaction the first round. Everybody seemed to like him. So he's continued on in the second round. His opposition from the 2000X line, and we're talking about the 2000X Rattler. Enough said about Rattler. You know, these 2000X figures, we all love the sculpt on them. And that's the whole point of this tournament, is how much we love the sculpt and the look of these figures. So we got Zodak Zur, we got Rattler. Let's see who survives. Believe it or not, Rattler was a 10 seed. All right, next matchup. Coming from the 12 seed. He went evil. He went badass. He turned Horde. We're talking about Horde Daddy. One of the two from the WaffleCon exclusive E-Daddy Custom Creations line. His opponent, courtesy of Super 7. We're talking about the Filmation Merman. Actually, with the exception of the rubbery damn armor, they nailed it pretty spot on, so you can't really go wrong there. Oh, I'm forgetting to do something, ain't I? Okay, you get Rattler. All right, I'll give you that one. I'm not, though. I'm going to stay with Zodak Zur because I like the way it looks a lot better than Rattler. No. E-Diddy, or He Daddy, is not. He's like later rounds. In fact, he's like in the 16th bracket. So it's either Horde Daddy or that Filmation Merman. And yeah, I will be going with the Horde Daddy myself. I think that's when my kids look at me every time I'm in a pissed off mood around here. All right. Next matchup at the 4 seed. Queen. There over in Etheria, we're talking about Queen Angela. We all know how this one goes. Her opposition is another one from Super 7, and we're talking about the Ultimates Faker, which if we all got him, you know, he had multiple swords. Get out of the way, you thunderbuck. Multiple heads. Some of us threw in some extra heads. And then there was that battle armor made for him. Really making an Ultimates figure right there. Ultimates Faker. Queen Angela. Then for the matchup we're all looking forward to, we got Sweet B rocking it against another Ultimates figure. And yeah, we're talking about Ultimate Skeletor. Came with a plethora of heads, swords, Havoc Staff, which is gone. Some of us got extra heads made for that Ultimate Skeletor. You just really couldn't go wrong with any of the Ultimates line. They're both badass figures, to be honest. Really well done. I'm going to burn in hell for saying something nice about Super 7 for that one. All right, so that's your third bracket. You got Ultimate Skeletor against Sweet B, Ultimates Faker versus Angela, Filmation Merman and Horde Diddy, and 2000X Rattler against the Zodak Zur. This gets done for midnight strikes. I will get the brackets up. All right. Fourth bracket time. Don't ask. I figured it would be, Kevin. I really figured it would be. All right. Let's see, fourth bracket time. Whoopsie. You're starting to hate me, ain't you, Kevin? I'm going to tease that for a while, I swear. I'm going to enjoy this tonight. All right. For the fourth bracket, this ended up being a 10-2 matchup. At the 10, 2000X line again. We got the Ice Armor He-Man. Still not too badly done. I think, in fact, most He-Man's pretty plain. I mean, this one pretty well sculpted and everything for the Ice Armor. I hear somebody, that's not his sword. I don't give a flying fuck. Against the 2 seed who survived pretty easily, we're talking about Despera. Came with the head. We know how it goes there. We don't say no more. Yeah, I like the way the Ice Armor He-Man looks. I really like the way they did this Sparrow. Pretty good and spot on, especially with what DC did with the comics in 2012. The only ones where I could probably actually go with Despair because the way it was. I would lose my mind if it wasn't attached. All right, so we get a 1-1 on that one. Let's see that one. All right, moving on. 14-5 at the 14. We get the Queen from 2000X, and we're talking about Queen Grayskull Vina. Very nicely done, depicted in the Classics line from 2000X. Very well done. Against that metal chomping Cronus dude. Talking about Trapjaw. Complete with all of his weapons. It always gave him the bonus Cronus head and the arm so he could put him in the full Cronus mode. So you get Cronus, you get Queen Grayskull. Another two, well sculpted, well designed. I will agree with the Queen Grayskull to be the one moving on. And how votes go, who knows? All right, 6-13 matchup. I'll start with the 6. In the Temple of Darkness, we are in fact talking about. You only get one vote, Kevin. Make up your mind. I see that already. You can't vote for them both. But we're talking about the Temple of Darkness Sorceress. As I said before, really well done. Really white. Comes with the pedestal, and oh, look, she's the one that stole King Grayskull's power orb. Now, her opponent from the Custom Creations Lab, we're talking about that futuristic faker from the E-Daddy Custom Creations Lab. I really hate this lighting. I'm going to have to get like a darker sheet up there to cover up over the lights. No, we can see him. Actually, he's ready to beat somebody's ass. Like people that can't choose one, they're trying to vote twice. Ugh. That one I will be going with the futuristic faker, to be honest with you. Kevin, you better not screw up my sheet here. Better not do it. I know everybody wants that futuristic faker. All right. Last matchup of the fourth bracket. We're talking about a 1, a 9. Let's start with the 9. Talking about Rokon. You gotta love the sculpt and design and everything they did with these rock warriors. Give him some good hiding there. But he's got some stiff competition. Look, I'm not making. Look, I'm gonna be a pain in my ass. Make me make you one. I know it. You better make up your mind. I know you'll vote again, or you'll do your votes officially whenever the brackets go up. But the 1 seed, we're talking about the ringleader of the whole Motu universe. We're talking about He-Man himself. I think we've all had that. Not the Ultimates He-Man, just a regular one. You know, because Ultimates didn't have ankle joint issues. Every regular He-Man I've gotten has had fucking ankle joint issues. Tried 300 ways to fix that shit. All right, Queen's your choice. It better be. Good thing I already wrote you down for. So you got He-Man, you got Rokon to finish out the fourth bracket. So like I said, you got He-Man, Rokon, the Temple of Darkness Sorceress, and the Future Faker, Queen Grey Skull, Trapjaw, the 2000X Ice Armor He-Man, and Despera. Yeah, I would say Rokon for that one too. I love He-Man, but let's face it, you got to go with where you got to go. He-Man never was that. I mean, wasn't a whole lot you could do with him to make him stand out. What can you say about a guy standing there in furry underwear? Boots and a sword. Ultimate's one we might be talking a little bit. But, you know, because you had all kinds of cool shit. That one you don't. Yeah. All right. Once that's done, that's out of the way. Kevin, unless your wife's watching, I don't know who you're trying to send that hint out to. All right, like I said, when the show's done, I will get the brackets up on the Angry Guy Productions page on Facebook so everybody can get on there and vote. Have some fun. All right, with that being said, the Motu part of the night is over. Oh, fucking her. Because now I'm going to do something I've been dying to do for a little bit. It is time. Really? Now I get a fucking commercial on shit? Fuck you. What the hell? Well, I ain't going to cut it. Go with that one. For what I've been waiting to do for the last few weeks. We're talking about the Thunder Lizard. That Bambi killing, Tokyo smashing, fire breathing king of the monsters. There I go, flash mode. We're talking about Godzilla. That's how I go rocking and work in the mornings. All right, enough of that one. All right, so we all know Godzilla. He's a pop culture icon. All right. Somebody says Toho or anything involving Japan, and first thing a lot of us think of is the King of Monsters. And let's face it, you ain't getting a better or bigger pop culture icon. God, I'm gonna keep that up all damn night. I'm done tell. Then Thunder Thighs. I mean Thunder Lizard. But let's face it, he's an icon for a reason. You look at everything that he represents, everything that he is meaning. I mean, depending on the movie, you know, Godzilla's got a lot of different meanings behind it. So with that being said, we're going to begin Godzilla-Thon, our month-long look at the King of the Monsters. We're going to look at different variations, shit like that, over the month's time. So, you know, plus that, and here in the like last year or two, we have been seeing a lot more Godzilla toys coming out, whether it be from Bandai or NECA. It don't matter where it's coming from. We're starting to get a lot more, especially with the release of all the new Godzilla movies, the whole MonsterVerse that Legendary Pictures is doing. We all was able to get whole Godzilla toys when we were kids, courtesy of Bandai. You know, as the movies come out, it was, you know, it had that slow point, kind of like a lot of toy lines do. Now we're getting a pickup again and getting some well-designed, really well-done figures. And we're loving it. Because, you know, let's face it, with the movies coming out, it's showing our love for it again. You know, unlike, you know, the way some places tried to kill it in '98 with that damn Matthew Broderick fights a giant fucking iguana. It's not one of my favorites. And just say some people need to have their heads kicked in for destroying a lot of people's imagery of Godzilla. Thank God Toho kept it up kept up their end, kept producing Godzilla movies, you know, for a good while. Renamed that ass clown into just Zilla. Let him get his ass kicked in fucking Sydney, Australia in the final wars, but we'll get to that later on. Later on in the month. Or later on in the Godzilla-Thon. Let's just put it that way, since I realize it's still April. But anyways, so what we're going to look at, because I haven't fully sunk into the whole, or I haven't jumped into the rabbit hole of getting the Bandai figures yet. Kevin is pretty sure that he can get me to jump into that rabbit hole. Because he was talking about trying to send me one or two. I don't know how many he's got up his sleeve. But anyways, I did end up jumping down the NECA Godzilla rabbit hole, and I'm loving it, to be honest. Now, compared to the little mini ones that come out with the King of Monsters movie, you know, all little things, you know, they look looked good. There was some, definitely some paint issues, stuff like that with those little ones. And that's the way it was. But we're going to be looking at these NECA Godzilla figures. And, I knew it's like, all right, you go through and you start watching all the movies. You find a way to get them all, whether it be, the DVDs you pick up in stores, find them on Vudu, the digital source, Amazon Prime, wherever, you can pick them up at. You see the evolution. And I think the screenshot picture I had for the title card, even though it didn't pop up that way on Facebook, so it was my ugly mug. I had this picture up of Godzilla's since year 2000 and the way that they've changed in shape and in height, looks and all that. But you don't really get too much of a change unless we're talking about that dipshit from 98. But I mean, consider the fact, you got Godzilla. I mean, he spawned a whole movie category on its own in the kaiju, kaiju movies. You got to look at it this way. I mean, you got Godzilla, you got King Ghidorah, you've got Mecha Godzilla, you've got Rodan, you've got Mothra, you've got Ebra, you got, if I didn't say already, Gigan, you got the Destroyer, you got Megaguirus. We could go on and on and on. There's been a plethora of other monsters to come in. You've had the, what was it, the little baby one that they ended up calling Zilla, or Manila, I think is what it was. Godzilla Jr. You've had a lot of different monsters and stuff that they've done their own thing, especially Mothra. There's a big one right there. Which, gotta throw a shout out to Decker Shadow and that creepy guy, which if anybody has a chance to, feel free to check them out. I think I've got them liked here on the YouTube page. Because they did a whole like Godzilla versus Mothra month. He was called Milla. Yeah, it's like, I think for some odd reason, and I'm going to try to do this without screwing myself up. Yeah, it still says I'm live streaming, so I'm good there. In fact, I'm going to try to. That didn't work. It didn't work where I wanted to, but I guess you can still see me. I'm going through and looking through the page real quick where I was looking up some things earlier. Manila is what it was. Minilla. Yeah. Manila. I mean, he showed his staying power. So in fact, you go back to the original 1954 Godzilla movie, and you get the Japanese version with the English subtitles, and you see, Godzilla is basically, he's a metaphor for, for the whole nuclear weapons, is what he is. And throughout time, he's went from that to showing what the damages can be and are with the whole nuclear weaponry program. And depending on what, and another thing is with Godzilla, depending on how the story, how the movie was supposed to be, where he was a good or he was bad. Just like humans, he had no problem fighting alongside to help him out. Originally, he was not called the King of Monsters in Japan. That was something that was adopted after the Americanized version came out in '56. Toho decided to keep with the King of Monsters tag. He's had over like 32 films done by Toho. 3 here in America. Numerous video games, novels, comic books, TV shows, cartoons, whatever. Was originally depicted as an enormous prehistoric sea monster awakened and powered by nuclear radiation. And that was all cool and everything. Because that's what, that's what that showed us, because that movie literally came out like 9 years after the bombs got dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In all honesty, something like this could have seriously have happened. You never know. Luckily it didn't. But he got him going through and he's destroying things. A lot of times you see him going after nuclear power plants, feeding off of them. It's like he's trying to absorb that. I think one of the biggest evidences of that was not only the what's called here in the States Godzilla 1985. In Japan, it was called The Return of Godzilla. That and what else was it? Godzilla versus let's see, was it Destroyer? Or was it Mecha Godzilla? Or no? Yeah, it's Godzilla versus Destroyer. Because, in the versus Destroyer, you see him, he's going into nuclear overload, eventually melts himself down, and Godzilla Jr. goes through, sucks it up, keep the Earth going. You see that a lot in a lot of these movies, like, it's real, so it's pretty cool to see. But, let's see, that's why I should have done like on 2 separate things, so I could like shrunk like this screen and had the other one shrunk and been a lot easier instead of going back and forth. Yeah, I seen that Bandai Destroyer, and I really hope, I want to see what NECA can do with it as well. Let's see. Believe it or not, during the American version of the second Godzilla movie, what was called Godzilla Raids Again, his name was changed to Gigantus here in the American version, because the producer who did the American version wanted to create a monster distinct from Godzilla. Let's see. Skin texture was inspired by the keloid scar seen on survivors in Hiroshima. Basic design was a reptilian visage, robust build, upright posture, long tail, and 3 rows of separated plates on the back. In the original film, the plates were added for pure aesthetic purposes in order to kind of differentiate Godzilla from any other living or extinct creature. A lot of the comics, cartoon stuff like that, he's depicted as green. But the costumes in the movies were actually painted charcoal gray with bone white dorsal plates up until Godzilla 2000. We all know about Godzilla's signature weapon, the atomic heat beam, or the atomic breath, which I think a lot of us get after eating something way too hot. Special effects department at Toho used various techniques to render the beam, from physical gas-powered flames to hand-drawn or computer-generated fire. He's also shown to possess immense physical strength and muscularity. Mr. Nakajima, the first actor to play Godzilla in the original films, he was actually a black belt in judo and used his expertise to choreograph the battle sequences, which is pretty cool when you think about it. Could breathe underwater. Kind of like transitional form between a marine and terrestrial reptile, basically. You couldn't find anything that could really hurt him. Can't be. See, various films, TV shows, comics, games that depict Godzilla with additional powers such as an atomic pulse. I think we saw that one with the Godzilla King of Monsters last year before last. Magnetism, precognition, fireballs, an electric bite, superhuman speed, laser beams emitted from its eyes, and even flight. Thank God Toho stayed away from that shit. Even though they did go with a dancing Godzilla at one point. Like I said earlier, his motivations change from film to film to suit the needs of the story. He's fought against an array of opponents from the previous kaiju monsters I talked about to King Kong, even various Marvel characters, including S.H.I.E.L.D., the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. The original Japanese film, believe it or not, Godzilla and all the monsters were referred to with gender-neutral pronouns equivalent to it, while in the English dub versions, it's explicitly described as being a male, such as in the title Godzilla King of Monsters. The 98 film, we realize that it's referred to as a male, but being to where it could go through and lay eggs. And the legendary Godzilla films, they're still referred to him as a male. His size is pretty inconsistent. In the 54 film, he was scaled to be about 164 foot tall. As it moved on, they eventually make Godzilla up to 328 feet tall. So he wouldn't be dwarfed by the newer buildings in Tokyo skyline, including the 797-foot Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, which Godzilla destroyed during Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 91. Say he weighed anywhere between 20,000 and 60,000 metric tons. So in regular tonnage, we're looking at 22,000 tons up to 66,000 tons. Let's see. The 2014 Godzilla film from Legendary Pictures, he was scaled to be about 355 feet tall. Let's see. Shin Godzilla was made even taller at 389 foot. The Godzilla Planet of Monsters, which is an animated Godzilla series on Netflix. If anybody had a chance to check it out, you need to check out all three parts. Really good. His height was increased further to 984 foot. Tallest height for the character up to date. Now, we talked about the 2014 Godzilla movie. In the Godzilla King of Monsters, his height was increased up to 393 feet. All right, we're going to stop there on that part of it. I don't know how many more things you've said, Kevin, but in fact, I ain't had the camera on, or I've had the camera on, but I ain't been able to see what, comments and stuff, because I've had it switched over looking at something else while, stuff I typed up and found on Wikipedia. But, you look at the list of movies, we're going by the Godzilla, or we're going by the Japanese titles of these, not the American versions. You got 54, you got Godzilla. 55, Godzilla Raids Again. 62, King Kong versus Godzilla. 64, Mothra versus Godzilla, or over there it was actually Godzilla versus the Thing. Or maybe it was over here it came like that. Also in 64, you get Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. 65, Invasion of the Astro Monster. It's amazing. During the Showa era of Godzilla, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 movies in 21 years. Because 54, 55, you get 2 back to back. Then you don't get another one until 62. Don't get another one until 64. And 64, you got 2 of them. And then after that, it's like almost yearly until 1969. And then they skipped. They didn't make one in 1970. And then you get 5 more, 71 through 75. You get 5 more Godzilla movies. Pretty cool. From that, they took a break. That's when we get to the Heisei era, which kicked off with the Return of Godzilla, which went through and they said, all right, everything from, after the King of Monsters, all those movies, different canon. Let's start from King of Monsters. Okay, we're going 30 years later. In which you get some really good, some really good ones out of that one. No doubt. You get an 11-year period. You get like 7 movies in an 11-year period. Because they did one 84, then 89, then 91, 92, 93, 94, and 95. You get Godzilla movies. And from there, they take another break for about 4 years before they kicked off the Millennium era, which went all the way to the end of, started with Godzilla 2000, ending with Godzilla Final Wars, which that wannabe iguana gets his ass whooped. All right, since we're going to do this in a four week setup for Godzilla-Thon, that's why I stopped where it did. We're going to look at a couple of the Godzilla figures that we have gotten from NECA, all from the Showa era of Godzilla. We'll kick it off with the 54 version of Godzilla, and the gray and white one. Let's take his atomic breath out. Cool. Some of them, include the atomic breath. I don't know what else can we see. Pretty well detailed for how it would look and everything. But I mean, you had a Godzilla that was pretty spot on with the depiction, how he looked in the movies, in the gray and white film. Charcoal gray, like he's supposed to have been, with the lighter gray fins on his back. You had plenty of tail movement, ankles. I think the knees are supposed to move a little bit. Leg movement. You get some waist movement so you can turn him. The hands, the arms, elbows, shoulders, all that move. And the head, of course, moves. Mouth closes and everything. So you can get him to go down. Well, get him to go down and destroy some things. You really had to appreciate the way the original 54 was done. This one, believe it or not, when I got this one was in, let's say, a lot of these, some of these you could get from NECA, depending on where you got them. If you get them from Walmart, they're like over in the electronics section, and they're in like clear plastic cases that says Godzilla on them, so you can actually see the figure. But yeah, pretty cool looking. I love the fire breath with him, or the atomic breath. Now, if you go over to Target, go back here and look, and they come in some beautiful boxes. And where did they go before I get shown this fella? What the hell did I do with them? And Kevin knows I had these things out like last week. Oh. Like I said, some of the beautiful artwork on the boxes. This is one from Kong versus Godzilla. We'll look at in a minute. One from Godzilla versus Destroyer. Love the box work on these. Maybe next week I'll find all the boxes for these. But in the box form over, you can get from Target. You got the movie poster version of Godzilla. He ended up being green and yellow in color with the red and black fins. Actually, he's supposed to have the yellow atomic breath. My little boy was playing with these earlier. He put that one in that. This is actually supposed to be going with the Godzilla from Godzilla versus King Kong. But he ended up with like the yellow atomic breath. This right here, I mean, you can see a lot more of the design features and the sculpt and coloring. Really cool looking without a doubt. So it was pretty good. So really starting to liking how these end up looking. Then we've already seen the atomic breath for King Kong versus Godzilla. And this right here, this dude's like freaking enormous. And you go back and you watch the movie and it's like, wow, he really was. And everything. Pretty like say, one too many Krabby Patties while living under the sea with SpongeBob and company. You get a way more chunkier version. But without a doubt, in the King Kong versus Godzilla one, really awesome looking. Like I said, he's like massive compared to the 54 ones. And hopefully, they go through and they do one from Godzilla Raids again. I'm really hoping that NECA goes through and does like a Godzilla depiction of each of the movies he's been in. So, honestly, so far, I've been pretty happy with the way they've looked from NECA so far. All right, so that's our beginning of the look of here at Godzilla-Thon of the King of Monsters. And like I said, we're getting some great stuff from them, without a doubt. And hopefully it continues on. And hopefully also this coronavirus crap doesn't delay the King Kong versus Godzilla movie from Legendary Pictures continuing on with the MonsterVerse, because I've heard a lot of great things about what we're going to end up getting. And I'm really hoping that one of the stories is true, that we are going to get Mecha Godzilla and Mecha Kong in that movie. But anyways, all right, so that's it for tonight. We took a look at who won brackets 1 and 2, who is going to be in brackets 3 and 4 in the Motu Design Scope Tournament. And we've started to take a good look at the King of Monsters. Next week, we're going to talk about the suits. We're going to talk about other iterations of the big feller. And look at some more of the figures from Bandai. Now, we will not be looking at the not Bandai, from NECA. We will not be looking at the NECA versions of, was it Mothra and Rodan? And I don't think they did a version of King Ghidorah. I know Bandai did a little small one. But and we'll take a look at some of these cool looking movie, boxes from them. And we'll go from there. So, until next week, hopefully, God, I don't fall over dead from a heart attack. which really would lead to a really great intro for a show, but I was told by multiple sources, don't do it. I'm not allowed to have any fun. But until next week, I'm me, Daddy, your angry guy. And remember, keep on collecting so with these lines don't die. Only one they didn't do was Ghidorah. Yeah. All right. Till next week, I'm out.